Yeah. Good evening, everyone. And today we are meeting on the fourth day of the ESA Anesthesia week. And to start the program, before that, I think it was a very sad news in the morning when I got up because Dr. Grish is a very good friend to me, was to me, and I think still good. We always keep in memories. And recently we had spent a good time together in Dehradun at the YuvaCon. He was just 40, and because of being 40, he was invited to UVACon as a faculty as in the workshop as in the main conference. So today we lost him, and because we always observe the morning at a national level whenever a state secretary, treasurer, president they leave for the heavenly abode. So it's my humble request to everyone to keep a silence for 1 minute in the memory of Dr. Girish Singh. Amen. So it was to start the program is a little sad note, but this is what we are made up of. The life savior, the COVID warrior. Nobody is, immortal. Everybody has to go through that. So we had lost so many lives during COVID when saving, and the way our specialty is working toward the patient safety. I think we are doing the maximum job. We take pride in that we teach, we exercise, we conduct, we daily deal with these things, at least to enhance the patient safety, working for the betterment of humanity. And the theme for today's program is also such that we had started one very major project, ISA National Simulation Program. We had identified few centers of excellence, and today there was a formal inauguration, a physical inauguration of the program at Pune. I could not attend online, but Dr. Divendra sir attended online. And I think to tell in detail, I request Dr. Divendra sir to throw light upon this program and about his views about everything regarding ISIS simulation.
Yeah, so good evening. Thank you very much for joining. And once again, condolences to Dr. Girish Singh and his family, uh, especially to Dr. Ramakrishna Reddy, our GC member. He was a very close friend and associate. Uh, Again, a very tragic occurrence. And again, if we are all members of the ISAFBF, we can support Dr. Girish's family to a great extent. He's also a member. So I would request everyone to become members of ISAFBF once again. Just hold on 1 minute. Yeah, Vaibhavi? Okay. No. It's now. Yeah. So like we said, welcome to the fourth edition of ISA Week. Today is the fourth day, and uh, when the first meeting that we had, we said we are going to do 5 Ps, and one of the Ps is the first P is patient safety, and the second P is professional excellence, and these things go hand in hand. So we cannot keep our patients safe unless we are good at our profession, and we if unless so both go hand in hand. And Of course, we've got a lot of online resources, we've got lots of lectures, we've got webinars, we've got conferences. But one of the new features which we have started uh, is a simulation-based training. So these are simulation-based workshops which are designed to uh, help anesthesiologists, practicing anesthesiologists, tackle crisis, tackle difficult situations using simulation-based training. And the plan was to have a number of simulation centers across the country, which would a number of simulations across the country where they would hold these workshops for a small group of 20, 30, 40 anesthesiologists, and they would, using simulation, learn and practice and get skilled at handling difficult situations and crisis with a view of saving patients' lives. And there would be a sort of standardized way of teaching, a standardized curriculum, a standardized sets of scenarios. And the very first workshop of this was held today in Pune at Bharti Hospital. And I must thank and congratulate Dr. Vaibhavi Upadhyay and Dr. Jui, who were the sort of organizers and also the course directors of this workshop. So I think if Dr. Vaibhavi and Dr. Jui have joined, maybe we can ask them to make a brief presentation on this program and the workshop that they conducted. Dr. Vaibhavi, are you there?
Dr. Joy is there, I think.
Dr. Jui?
Yes, sir, we are here. Just give us a minute. We are
Yeah.
setting it up.
Yeah, if you have slides, and Dr. Bajwa, you can
Yeah.
if you
Yes, sir.
can
Yeah.
slides.
I will share code document.
Yeah, Dr. Jui.
You the share option को दो. हाँ. करते ओके ना. Correct. No, but आपला पण एक व्हिडिओ येऊ दे. करते इतकं. हो ते आधी करायला लागेल का? हाँ. Good evening, everyone.
Dr. Vaibhavi and Dr. Jui are together. Excellent. Okay, please.
Thank you. So we just finished the first ISA simulation workshop. It went really well. I think we all are very happy because the response was tremendous. We got around 40 registrations when we had capped at 30. So it just kept, the registrations were like just happening. And in fact, there were more we had to refuse. So the response was amazing. And even the workshop had a very good responsive participants. So they participated in simulations and they enjoyed as well. And even the immediate feedback has been very good, whatever they verbally communicated. We have taken a formal feedback that we will analyze, but immediate reactions were like really good. And we conducted 4 skill stations and 6 scenarios. It was exhausting for us also and for the participants as well, but then it was all worth it.
Heartiest congratulations, Dr. Vaibhavi and Dr. Joy, for
Thank you,
conducting
sir.
this thing.
Thank you to all of you.
I
So
think
you want to
it's the first one.
slides?
Yes. Yeah. The first slide, yeah, I'll just, I'll minimize this. Can you all hear us?
Yes.
Yes. So, the ISA initiative, I think maybe Bala sir had briefed, but then I will formally introduce you to the concept. ISA National had undertaken an initiative to make simulation-based training in anesthesia widely accessible to all anesthesiologists across India, bringing this training opportunity closer to their respective cities. The ISSM workshop is a one-day program and it is launched all across SIM centers. So hopefully over the next 1 to 2 years, all cities would have conducted this standardized uniform curriculum workshop. The anesthetist can now benefit from advanced simulation learning methodology without the need to travel long distances or stay in remote cities. And especially this workshop is conducted on a Sunday for the convenience of everyone. This initiative is to make a high quality simulation workshop more affordable and convenient for participants as well. The first ISA workshop was conducted today at Bharti, and I really want to thank Dr. Zui for really making amazing preparations. The whole workshop went absolutely flawless. So a big thanks to Zui for the same. Yes, I think the participation was really good because ISA did announce it in a formal way, and that helped us because initially the registrations were only 6. So that made us a bit worried. But after the announcement from ISA, it just rained participation. So thank you so much for that. These are all the SIM centers who have come forward. There are 19 of them, which have come from different cities and states. I've included the names here, mentioned the cities as well as the state. The name of the center head is also mentioned here. So all of them have come forward, and there are many more who are asking. So I think the word is spreading, and this list is going to grow in the next 6 months, is what I understand. So I'm really hoping that all SIM centers will be roped in by the end of this year, and we can conduct this workshop parallelly also at many places, is what our aim is. So what is the role of the simulation centers that have enrolled themselves? One, to conduct the sim workshop using their space, simulators and facilitators. The duration of the program will be from 8 a.m. to 5:15 p.m., preferably a Sunday. Follow a standardized curriculum given by ISA. Pre-reading will be provided, pre-test, post-test, and feedback will be collected. We also have asked them whether they would be okay if we reconnect to them after a few months. Take a feedback from them that whether they have changed their practices and improved patient safety through this workshop. We are encouraging a multidisciplinary OT team. We are inviting surgeons, nurses, OT technicians as well. So today also we had surgeons coming in and participating and giving their 2 inputs to help build the teams. The SIM center is expected to manage the budget completely on their own. ISA has no role in the finances aspect of this workshop. The max participants are 30. But yes, this time, because it was the first workshop, we did not want to refuse any participants. So we did, add 10 more. But then we realized that, yes, beyond that, we could not. So we had to keep them on hold, saying that the next workshop will be conducted in Pune soon. The registration fee per person is decided as 5,000, but fortunately, we could conduct it in a lesser fee of 3,500 per person. Industry support or sponsorship was not required because we could manage in the registration fee budget that was there. I guess all SIM centers here in Pune, at least, we have a self-sufficient in-house trained pool of facilitators in the anesthesia department, as well as others, maintaining a facilitator trainee ratio of 1:6. But I think this could be a slight concern with other SIM centers in India, where the pool of facilitators are not so many. Because for today's workshop, we required 9 facilitators. And hence, we feel that this many facilitators may not be available in other SIM centers outside Maharashtra. We may need to look into training facilitators at some point to increase the pool. We applied for the credit points from the respective state medical council, which were granted 2 points. We also involved a local ISA. We informed them and we requested ISA National also to email them, which Bala sir did. And hence, I think the local ISA had also come down and they witnessed the entire workshop and they appreciated, thanked us as well. So I guess their support was overwhelming for here. So the role of ISA that was decided during the large meeting that we had with all SIM centers is all SIM centers will hopefully get endorsement from ISA through a MOU with respective SIM centers. The MOU was approved by ISA last time with Dr. Bajwa sir having a look at it, and it is finalized. I'll be sharing with you in the day or two so that all SIM centers can actually sign it with some small changes here and there as per their organization. So for now, the theme was perioperative critical incidents. But this initiative is going to be like a revolution where probably a year and a half after this, where the theme covers at least 70 to 80% of anesthetists in India. After that, the theme could change into focus or anything else that is the need of the hour for all anesthesiologists. We have decided that an audit of workshops would be done by ISA because they are a neutral body rather than we doing it. At the end of 10 workshops and after 1 year, the feedbacks will be also analyzed for any changes that need to be done. Last time we discussed that we will do this audit even after 5 workshops so that we get a data much earlier to make any corrections. So I guess the formalities for felicitation to be included in the curriculum to save time. So today we had a beautiful inauguration online virtually, as well as the lamp lighting was also virtual. So we are truly going I must say, and it went quite well. Accreditation of the SIM centers by ISA would be really amazing for all the SIM centers to conduct the workshop and have a more buy-in from all the anesthesiologists. The standards of accreditation will be soon made because these are the standards which centers in US, centers in UK, they have their own accreditation. And in fact, we seeking accreditation from a Western world, why don't we have an accreditation of ISA, which says that this SIM center has all the requirements, such as simulators, such as space, auditorium. If we have some kind of an analysis and we accredit them, then the anesthesiologist will feel like they can go to these SIM centers to learn. At the same time, all the certificates that we are giving, having ISA dignitary signatures, really helping us validate this program. And the certificate stays valid for 2 years. So we haven't kept a long validity considering that they may need to come back for a refresher. So today's workshop at Bharati Hospital and Research Center was 1 day, starting from 8 a.m. to around 5:30 p.m. We had 40 registrations, surgeons, nurses, and OT technicians were invited. They didn't pay the registration fee. 4 skill stations were conducted and 6 simulation scenarios with debriefing. So this is the first page of the brochure highlighting the theme of this workshop, unanticipated perioperative critical incidents. The faculty were all from Pune, except one madam had come from Baramati. So that really helped the faculty also to not travel a long distance to conduct the workshop. This really had a very positive effect for people who can just come and go back to their homes on a Sunday. So this is a small itinerary, we could say, which showed skill stations where FONA, defibrillation, cardioversion, pacing, IO access, and emergency anesthesia drug infusions. Today's course, I think Zui will agree, we had a whole range, right? From freshers,
Yeah. Real senior consultants with even 43 years of experience.
And on the skill stations and in the scenarios, it was still a struggle for everyone, because everybody knows this and they know how to do it. But when it comes to teamwork and team training is where the challenge is to manage a crisis. So I think this highlighted in the scenarios that they need to work together and have a same mental model to work together. Educating our nurses is important, our OT technicians, including surgeons for that matter. So this was something that helped them truly manage a case almost to near realistic situation. So I think this is it from my side that I wanted to, inform. And I think the team has been amazing. I'm really happy to share that all the Pune facilitators are also growing and they are also learning. So we do have a good team here now. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Me and Zui are really happy and grateful.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Vaibhavi, Dr. Jui. So I think as you can see, this is not just a one-off workshop. This is part of an entire sort of series or a whole program which will take throughout the country, and we will be able to train anesthesiologists in some of these difficult situations. And so it is like a movement which has begun today, and I'm sure it will all go forward. And the ISA is going to be very much involved in the organization and laying down standards and certification and so on. So I think we really look forward to this going ahead in the future. So thank you once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Vaibhavi and Dr. Jui. I think it's a well-conducted program. It can be seen from your schedule, you have shown. And I think, no, it
It is
really,
long one.
It's a heavy one.
I know the heavy work, the planning, how you execute it, and you're perfectly exhaustive. Even in your faces, a little exhaustion is there. We can see, very well know how much exhaustive would have been the entire program. And yes, the idea is same, that we are going to have it almost every state of India, because the traveling part, the logistic is very difficult, which we discussed earlier also. So there have been requests, and I think rather than having a 20 now, another 6 months we may be reaching almost 40 to 50. That can come even in this online celebration. You can see the requests coming for involvement and getting recognized for this skill centers. We will coming up with a more larger number by the time we reach the mid of the next year. So this is, as Dr. Devendra said, moment has begun, sir. Moment has begun. It's the beginning. Now we will go forward. Yes, sir. Please.
No, I was just telling Vaibhavi and Joey to please note the comments. The people want your address, and there are people who want to join as trainers and facilitators. So
Sure.
take note in the comment box.
Okay.
And I think, sir, people who are present here, they have the opportunity to take the initiative themselves. They can raise their hand, or they can be part just now only. We can give them 1 or 2 minutes. Dr. Hina was writing. Dr. Hina, you have to unmute yourself before you speak. If you want a center you have got the skill lab in your institution. Unmute yourself.
Good evening, sir, and all members. Sir, we have the simulation lab, but that is only the CPR and that CVP dummies, nothing else. So we can, it's a wonderful workshop that has been conducted by the Dr. Vaibhavi and Dr. Jui. We can definitely will invite them in our place, Ahmedabad.
Thank you. We'll be happy to help you, ma'am.
Congratulations, madam, and please share the mobile number and the email address as well.
Fine.
So we'll coordinate prior.
Okay, I'll put it in the group itself.
I think
once again, congratulations.
Once training is started, I think people will get more facilitators and more trainers.
Yes.
Teaching of trainers and teaching of teachers training, everything will keep on going hand by hand.
Yes, because we will need, this is something that is very different from conventional training methods. So the pedagogy has to be learned first and imbibed in ourselves. It takes a while for us to totally change the way we look at teaching, or rather learning, I must say. So it takes a while. So it has to start now, so that after a year or so, people would be ready to take it forward.
Definitely. Because these are the highly skilled things, and definitely a communication, the teamwork, and how you really behave in a team while doing these critical scenarios are very, very important, where you can really save a life in a very, very precise manner rather than losing the patient. So, as Dr. Divetya said, the 5 Ps, the patient safety and precision and professional excellence, these all go hand in hand. You cannot delineate.
Absolutely, sir. In fact, during the workshop, all the anesthesiologists, they felt, what if the surgeon says no? What if the organization says no to buying this equipment? And we said, yes, we have to go and talk to them. We have to give them studies. We have to educate them that this is important. I think what we have done for ETCO2 body warmers in the past, everything, we could change their mindset by educating them. It's required. So they feel empowered at the end of the day to go back and say that this is what we need. So I think that communication helps.
Yeah, definitely. So, Divetya sir, your concluding remark about this upper program before we move to the next one?
I know. although it's a concluding remark, it is actually the beginning of a movement.
Beginning of the.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vaibhavi, Dr. Zoe. Please take this forward, and the SA is really out to support this sort of training. And please, I can already see a lot of people who want to join as trainers, who have simulation facilities, who want to join the program. So please take everyone along and
Yes.
and let
Definitely.
every anesthesiologist be a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks.
everyone. Thank you, Bajwa sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Zoe and Dr. Vaibhavi.
Thank
Bye.
you, sir.
Yeah. Now, moving on to the next inauguration, we had a very well conducted webinar, online webinar from ISSI, the CRISP webinar, where a lot of discussion happened about the thyroid diseases, thyroid surgery or non-thyroid surgery. And during those discussions, the things came out because we were having, a very controversial type of things also happening, and there was no consensus. So at that time, it was well thought we should have a guidelines, a thyroid guidelines for our own country and own ISA. So that was discussed in the GC, got it passed, and we are going to involve people from almost every state because the data from Indian surgical centers is very, very important to formulate these guidelines because there is a highly variability of cultures, religion, then dietary patterns and different diseases in the different parts of the country. So I'm just going to share a draft of that guideline formulation. Is it visible to everyone? Sir, Devitya sir, is visible?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes, sir.
visible.
Yes, sir.
It is visible.
So
Yeah.
these are our ISA national guidelines for the perioperative management of patients with the thyroid diseases. Now, the background, I have already discussed a few points with you because the population variability across the nation is very, very, varied also. And you get a lot of different sets of patients and other, if you go the incidence factors discussed in the literature and books are also accounting for those things. And a practice of anesthesia is also highly variable across the different parts of the country, different setup, different hospitals, district hospitals, peripheries, corporate, academic institutions. So that is also a thing of concern for these type of patients with the thyroid diseases. And there is no fixed set of Indian pre-operative guidelines related to thyroid function profile. Because whenever you're discussing certain type of patient coming to you with a different level of the T3, T4, the free T3, T4 or TSH or another radio uptake mechanisms and other investigations, there are no general consensus because we are following the guidelines given by the Western countries and we had fixed ideas about that thing. If that level is below, that level is above or no. So we may say yes or no to the surgeries. So there is no exclusive or dedicated fixed preoperative evaluation guidelines also for these patients because invariably these patients may have a swelling, may be having a cancer, may be having the large goiters. So what to do, how to go about it, whether to operate in a center where the ICU facilities are not available because these patients may require the post-operative ventilation also with the long-standing goiters. So many things are there. So that defines that because when guidelines are formed by the ASA or by the American Association of Clinical Endocrinologists, these things are seldomly taken a look into the developing nations. So we require the guidelines for our country. And that's why, because the Indian scenario is very important with the world's largest population. And the most important factor is the delayed reporting because people may keep on suffering. People keep on taking their medications on the local, whatever you call the practitioners and all those things. And when the disease really goes beyond and you go end up in for a surgical procedure, you land up there, it's become a very different, very difficult situation for the attending anesthesiologist, intensivist, also from surgeon also, because they also have to see the patient post-operatively. So that delayed reporting is one of the biggest cause. Then dietary patterns and compliance with the medication. This is another factor which has to be taken into account because of the illiteracy, economic status. So many factors account for these type of variations. And the lack of awareness. the lack of awareness means the complications and other fallacies associated with the thyroid diseases. They're well known in the society. Society people, they come to you, maybe asking certain things and then go back. And the awareness, we are still not able to spread about these type of diseases. And the non-uniform practices, that is about talking about the anesthesia practices in managing these patients, are also not uniform. And a lack of consensus, which I told earlier also, that there is a lack of consensus among different type of setups. And because majority surgeries are done in peripheries, this is a fact actually. Because and the peripheries with the sources are bigger and the people may be having substandard facilities for such surgeries, but these being are still done there, and we may land up in problems. So patient safety factor and the professional excellence, again, the P is coming to play for such scenarios. Now, aims and objective for our formulation of these guidelines, that we aim to prepare these guidelines that will definitely help all anesthesiologists, including the private practitioners, those in the corporate hospitals and teaching institutions, to take early and correct decisions in the perioperative management of the patient with thyroid disease. The guidelines will focus on three domains: preoperative considerations, intraoperative management, and postoperative problems in the patient with thyroid disease and posture for thyroid or non-thyroid surgeries. The team will try to provide an easy, evidence-based framework based on which the anesthesiologist can plan the perioperative management. We aim to conceive the guidelines with an Indian perspective targeted at developing countries and involving the experts from the field of endocrinology also. So, two types of, when we're going to formulate these guidelines, we will be considering types of surgery like thyroid surgeries and the non-thyroid surgeries. Both we will be taking into account. Then we have to make, during the formulation of guidelines, the awareness of various complications related to these thyroid diseases has to be done simultaneously. So it will be done first of all to our fraternity, then to the other, even to the patient population. We will be developing some modules or questionnaires or awareness methodology where everybody can be knowing about the different complications of the thyroids, preoperatively especially. Then about the intraoperative and postoperative complication, they will be given a good look and will be conveyed in a proper manner so that everybody should be knowing what are the real complications. Today, we just go to the book and read that these are 7, 8 complications or maybe 10, 12. But in exactly the mechanisms and why the complications are occurring, what are the major causes of the complication, that is very, very important in these type of diseases, especially the patient with a hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism or with the thyroid cancers. And regarding investigations in these type of diseases, efforts will be done to collect the maximum of Indian surgical data related to these surgeries apart from the global studies so as to formulate these guidelines. Emphasis will be on the common thyroid function profile in relation to various other associated comorbidities so as to lay down minimal or optimal levels of hormonal assays. Because this is important because many patients with thyroid diseases invariably have comorbidities, and that also tilt the balance in a proper evaluation of these type of patients. Then the preoperative preparation and optimization, we will be having the framework based on the elective surgeries or the emergency surgeries. Both factors, pros and cons, will be considered in this type of surgical procedures. Then the intraoperative anesthetic management will also be part of this guideline, which will be including the setups where we are functioning, where we are doing the procedures, where we are giving the anesthesia. Then about the various drugs which will be used in these type of surgeries, then anesthesia techniques, the variable, maybe you're going to the regional some blocks also along with the general anesthesia or something like that, or the patient with thyroid disease for the non-thyroid surgery, you are talking about the ultrasonography, regional blocks, or other things. Everything will be taken into account. Then particularly about the what equipment, the minimal equipment and devices required for the monitoring. So monitoring standards will be taken into account, and those will be given a due consideration while formulating the guideline. And then also the positioning of the patient for different procedure, whether they are for thyroid surgeries or for non-thyroid surgeries, those will also be taken account. Other things are logistics will be also taken care of. And the post-operative management, it is a prerogative that we have to develop some recovery room advisories, especially in the thyroid surgeries. That has to be done in a very meticulous manner. We have to see what we have to give the training to the staff, laying the guidelines and advisory for the staff who are going to monitor the patient as well as the residents who will be monitoring post-operatively. So this is a very important set of protocols and guidelines. Then the minimum mandatory monitoring guidelines, whether in the post-anesthesia care units or wards. And with this, in these type of surgeries, especially thyroid surgery, again, laying the emphasis on the post-operative rounds by the anesthesiologist. This is a very, very essential step since we always want to make awareness about our fraternity, our specialty. The post-op rounds will definitely help. If we have to bring it in our curriculum also, the post-operative rounds, because that will give you a different picture altogether. Patient will recognize you. Patient will see you that you are the person who helped in the surgery, the way the surgery was done. Because if you don't give post-op rounds, the entire thing is only, somehow shared in a biased manner by the surgical team. So it is always necessary and mandatory to give the post-operative rounds. And with this, we have a substantial work in this field, I can say, because the Lee synopsis of anesthesia, the latest edition, 15th edition, we have our own chapter there in thyroid surgeries and the endocrine surgeries. So that was published last year. So this we already have the substantial evidence of already the work has been done in this area. So it will be easy for us to formulate the guideline. Apart from that, we have endocrine anesthesia supportive evidence where we have almost done so much of the work in these endocrine surgeries, which will be helping us in while going forward, while selecting the team, while selecting the endocrinologist also in these type of things. So we have got a substantial, background as well as the support of the academic as well as the logistic and other specialties when we go forward to formulate these guidelines. Thank you very much for listening. Now we can have some share of the thoughts from the house also, especially first from the president, sir. I think is most important for us. He has worked a lot in these type of thyroid onco surgeries. Sir.
So thank you, Dr. Bajwa. So again, another very important sort of initiative. So we need guidelines on many issues, and there is a lack of clarity and on many aspects of thyroid surgery, including, like what TSH level is safe, what is not safe, and what is the data, and what do people do. So and thyroid is a very complex organ. It affects the hormone involves or affects, influences many organ systems, the airway also. So it's a nice guideline. And of course, don't say that why thyroid, why not something else. Of course, we need guidelines on many things, but I think this is one focus area. And let's do a good job on that based on data, based on evidence. And I think it'll be a good step forward.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Anybody, any suggestion from the house regarding at the moment thyroid guideline? Later on, we will come out with other guidelines also. Because I think another 2 days we will be inaugurating our College of Indian Society of Anesthesiologists, and we will be working in that under the edges of college and coming out with the various academic programs and these guidelines and all this. We have a committee there. We have got a deans also and associate deans also for the guideline formulation committees. So that will be a good step for this particular guidelines. Any suggestions or any other feedback mechanism everybody wants to give, they can give. Dr. Manisha, you are part of that CRISP series where the birth of this concept was, the concept occurred. So you please go ahead with your comments also.
Yeah. We had a lot of discussion during that webinar about thyroid diseases, and many of the seniors, also the chairpersons, they also said that we need such kind of guidelines. And I was so happy to see the presentation done by you, and you already have done a lot of work in the field of endocrinology with so many articles, so many references are there. You and Dr. Madhuri Kurdi are already having a topic on the Lean synopsis of anesthesia, the first anesthesia book which we read when we join anesthesia. So I feel during that discussion also, and now also after listening to Dr. Diwatiya sir, I feel that we need to formulate those guidelines which are necessary in our part of India, where there is a lot of There are a lot of areas where we can see the iodine deficiency. So such kind of guidelines are needed in our scenario. So thank you very much. And I think it is going to be an important guidelines from ISA as far as our guidelines are concerned, or our scientific word of ISA under College of ISA is concerned.
Thank you, Dr. Manisha. Yes, the word, our guidelines, our ISA guidelines, it always a matter of pride whenever we come out with these things. So anybody else want to say something? Not Chakrarao sir is there. He has already published guidelines of IRCF and the ambassador to ILCOR and ambassador to WFSA also. Sir,
Thank you for calling me. Actually, these guidelines are most necessary because with a population of 1.4 billion, which is matching to the other world except China, we do not have guidelines because many of the population suffering are from these areas, and we do not have research, and we do not have a registry of the diseases. So these are the things actually to make the, now I'm feeling because we have come up with the guidelines, and there are a lot of issues and all those things. Now we are starting a cardiac registry like that. You have to start a disease registry or something. It is all the issues with the government of India. And another thing is, if it is done by anesthesiologist, the other people think they have done. They think that we do not have any clinical experience of the disease and all those things, and it will be set aside. So I request you to please involve one or two people from cardiology and endocrinology so that they will also pull out these guidelines, and these guidelines are more important, and we have to rope in with everybody. Then only we will have more. Of course, it is even IRCF guidelines is only started by ISO only. Otherwise, no other specialty has got a motive to do something different. But we are actually coming forward. And this will be easily recognized if we involve the other people also. And see that our guidelines should be quoted by the cardiologists and endocrinologists in India. Because everybody, they says, they refer to the American Heart Association or American Surgical Association, American ASA, and all those things. But they do not talk about the India, even though our guidelines are there. So first of all, let us brainwash our colleagues and say that this has to be done. Definitely it is needed. Definitely we have to come up with the guidelines. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And you are right, because involvement of the other specialties make it more comprehensive. I've been associated with the Endocrinological Society of India since 2011. We have already formulated this intensive care glycemic control guidelines, and they are being cited at many places and published in the API textbook of medicine also in the refresher course. So I think that's the best way to go forward. You involve the endocrinologists, you follow. Suppose there's some surgical complication is there, so you have to involve the surgical people also in this formulation of guidelines. No specialty is complete. If you really want to have a patient safety target, every specialty contributes to something which becomes a comprehensive coverage of those guidelines. I think you are right, and we will be going like that only. Anybody has any suggestion before we moving to the next part?
Dr. Bajo.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, Chakrarao sir. Thank you for joining. So I think Dr. Chakrarao sir made a very important point about citations. For example, All India Difficult Airway Association and IRCF produced these guidelines. IDA produced the first guideline in the world on airway management in the ICU. There was nothing before that in 2016. But the British DAS, Difficult Airway Society, produced their guideline in 2018 or 19. And their citations have gone through the roof, and our guidelines citation at a 50, 60 or something like that.
Our people do not want to
and when we talk,
feel proud of our guidelines, and they will be always buttering the others and thinking that they wanted to show that they have read those books.
And also when we conduct workshops based on our guidelines, people ask us if we give this quote, these guidelines exams, will we pass? So I think we have to get over that mentality, because even our guidelines are based on data, evidence. I mean, they're not drastically different, but they are a separate set of guidelines. So why should we not promote our own guidelines and our own work based on our own data and our own literature? So I think we should
Yeah.
promote that as well in our society.
The only thing is there's two differences mainly. One is the data. If we have a data, there is no problem. Second is the basically the attitude or the perception of a Indian medical fraternity as entirely in the world, not just one of our specialty. So basically, they consider the developing countries as inferior to the Western countries when it's about citations or the authenticity of the publication of the guidelines, those things. I think this is the best way. The society coming out with the guidelines, they're authenticated. I think during the COVID times, if you ask me honestly, the COVID time, Dr. Naveen is also sitting here, we were the first one to publish the advisories in the world, and it came on the WSA website also. So at that time, that was the best way to go forward. So these are the things we have to take lead here actually. The robustness, the methodology, the rigorous methodology and the robustness of the guidelines will definitely help in enhancing the citation in these type of cases. Anybody else want to say, or we moving to the next?
Heartiest congratulations on launch of these guidelines. These were long needed, and I'm very sure they will prove very, very beneficial to the all across, whether they are clinicians, whether practitioners or people working in the institute, and they will have lots and lots of citations also. I'm very confident about that.
Thank you, Dr. Naveen.
Many congratulations, Diwatiya sir, Diwatiya sir, and Bajwa and our team. So for the thyroid guideline, thank you so much. Lots of people of the ISA and other fraternity will definitely benefited through this guideline. Thank you so much.
We can write a partner declaration on guidelines.
Yes, sir. Yes,
During
sir.
the conference.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. So that brings us to the end of the second inauguration, and now third one. Third one is the newsletter, which we had made a monthly newsletter from the last April 2023 onwards, ISA newsletter paper, which was formerly the ISCN during the time of the past Secretary Dr. Naveen. So we had a monthly, and it's a scientific material. We have started a different manner. And many things are there in the paper. And this time we are coming in with this version of the coming version of the newsletter will be the Yuva, where the Yuva will be formulating it. Well, they will be, enhancing with their write-ups as well as the materials, interviews, everything. So I think to throw light on that, I will like to invite my associate editor in the newsletter, Dr. Madhuri, to present the ISN newsletter journey, our paper journey, and then also about the new Yuva version of this, the new version of the new issue, rather, not version, the new issue of the newsletter. Dr. Madhuri, please.
Good evening, sir. Thank you.
If you are not able to share screen, I can do it from my side
No,
also.
I'll do it, sir. I'm doing it. Can you see my screen, sir?
Yes.
Yeah. Good evening to everybody. So, paper, the first issue of paper, as sir already said, it came out in April 2023. And this newsletter was already existing. It was named as the ISCN and we renamed it as Vapor. And
why it is coming with the shadowed portion?
Just 1 second.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, it's better. You make it full screen now.
Okay, now you can see
Uh,
full screen.
Yeah, better. But still, now it's okay.
Yeah, so the vapor issues have been coming out very regularly since then. And our team is the Governing Council of ISA National, and our editorial team with Editor-in-Chief Dr. Bajwa sir and our entire editorial board. We have had 13 vibrant issues till now. As you can see, each issue has been a big hit, and it has had many readers. And the latest issue has been published in June, July. June, July issue was published. That was the latest issue. And
Dr. Madhuri, I will just tell one thing here.
yeah,
Just go to the back slide.
yeah.
The reason for the issues coming late is we want to cover all the ISA activities happening over the months, I mean 1 or 2 months, so that we shall cover. The main idea is to give the priority to the ISA activities across the nation. So it takes a time and it comes retrospectively. That's why if the June, July issue comes, it will come in almost around August or September. Similarly, the next issue will be coming in October or November. So like that. So this is the way why we say June, July issue, because we have to cover all activities of every city branch of India. Thank you, Dr. Madhuri. You go forward.
Now, Vapor brings to you calendar of CMEs and conferences of ISA. The ISA notice board, it is very popular, and it is a ready reckoner of CMEs and conferences of the ISA, which are coming up. The location and the dates are mentioned there, and it's a ready reckoner for our ISA members. And most of the issues, all the issues since the last 6 months, there have been theme-based issues. We have had themes like pre-hospital care, fit anesthesiologist, emergency medical services, perioperative complications, anesthesiologist, a multidimensional clinician, patient safety, and such theme-based issues. And as per feedback, people have really liked these theme-based issues. The newsletter brings news about ISA activities in different areas of our nation. So different branches, city branches and state branches, all their activities with pictures and information it brings to everybody. And the activities of so there are some branches which are very active, and they really inspire the other inactive branches to do more work for the ISA. It brings scientific news, and there are so many articles related to the themes, and these bring scientific news to our ISA colleagues. And there are some clinically useful and inspiring interviews with anesthesiologists have been published in some of the issues of Vapor, and these have been really inspiring for our fellow anesthesiology colleagues. Then Yuva anesthesiologist activities. These are published in the section on Yuva Parnika or Yuva pages. These are dedicated totally to the Yuva anesthesiologist, where Yuva authors write, or we take interviews of Yuva anesthesiologists. Then the art and literary activities of ISA are also covered in the newsletter to give impetus to their talent. So in this section, poems, stories, and other artwork, especially paintings and all, are published. And this really motivates the talented ISA colleagues. Then we have practitioner pages where the practitioners publish their articles, especially case discussions and any unusual experiences which they had. Then we have quizzes and crosswords to keep the brain active. Quiz by Dr. Ramakrishna Reddy and Dr. Abhyuday Kumar, and crossword. Dr. Parul Jindal has been making the crosswords. And Kaleidoscope is one very attractive section of the newsletter, where interviews with talented anesthesiologists of our nation are published. So they are talented not only academically, but in other art as well. And coming soon is the Yuva issue of Vapor, the August-September issue. So this issue is dedicated to the Yuva anesthesiologists of our nation. So Rabindranath Tagore ji said that age considers but youth ventures. And as has already been said, the youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. So this Yuva issue of Vapor will give an opportunity to our Yuva colleagues to write and contribute to this issue and put forth their opinions, put forth their ideas to everybody. So the theme will be risks and safety concerns in anesthesia practice. This will be the theme of the Yuva issue of Vapor. So this is in press and will be published very soon. Yuva issue of Vapor. The authors, we have all Yuva authors here. Dr. Rashmi, Dr. Vaishak, Dr. Saurabh, Dr. Anil Kumar, Dr. Priyanka, Dr. Shraddha Naik, Dr. Tushar, Dr. Kritika, and Dr. Shravya, Dr. Gurikbal, Dr. Shaila, Dr. Hali, and so many others. And I'm sure the Yuva issue is going to rock like anything. And all the issues of Vapor are available on our national website, www.isaweb.in. They are also available on Twitter and they are available on Instagram. So we look forward to contributions for Vapor, and we hope that, and we are sure that the Yuva issue of Vapor will be a big hit. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Madhuri, for elaborating the insights of our newsletter and how we are going further with it. And definitely, we like to encourage all branches also to come up with the activities as well contribution to the newsletter. We can enhance the pages of also if they are more active in contributing whatever the interesting case or a difficult case or some messages, important messages for our society, for our fellow beings is done. So everybody is welcome. This is the basically a mouthpiece of our ISA local in India. So that is required, and it's well liked in a global way also. People from different countries are also praising it. So it's a best chance for everyone to contribute to it. There is no, dearth of talent in India. The only thing is the initiative. Once you take initiative, things will go a long way. So I request everyone to keep coming up with the innovative ideas, which we can publish in the newsletter. Later on, this can take a wing from there. So this is our heart and soul of the ISA National Headquarters, the newsletter. So anybody now wants to say something because we have done with the 3 functions of our today. I see, can see the Dr.
Thank you, sir. I'm Dr. Anil Kumar from Kakinada.
Yeah, please, Dr. Anil, please.
Yeah, sir. First of all, I thank you for giving me the opportunity in for publishing something in your Vapor, sir, Yuva Vapor. And this, I hope this Vapor should be more successful, and young anesthesiologists should come and take a good roles in ISA. Thank you very much, sir, for supporting and taking the new initiatives.
Thank you, Dr. Neil. It's the entire team effort, actually, not me only. So entire team of Vapor is helping the cause, and just giving the opportunity to youngsters will definitely sharpen them and polish them for the national scenario also. Dr. Rama sir, you wanted to say something, please.
Good evening, President sir and Under Secretary and all the office bearers. So ISA newsletter Vapor is doing an excellent job. The entire editorial team under the supervision of Dr. Bajwa sir is working well, and I am very happy that I am a part of this Vapor in the form of contributing the quiz. It is giving opportunity to many young and unidentified persons to, it is providing a platform to them to expose their skills and knowledge. So I appreciate the ISA National for creating this newsletter paper. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. You are really an asset for us. The quiz and the ISA website quiz and as well as the paper quiz. And also in the national conference also, you will be conducting your part well. We are very sure of. Dr. Sunil Sethi, sir, you want to say something?
Sir, good evening. And first of all, I must congratulate you and our President, sir, for bringing up these colorful celebration of World Anesthesia Day week-long program. And you are covering the topics very well and in a very elaborate way. And the talent which is hidden in the anesthesiologist is being looked after very well. My only concern is I will request the leadership that I have seen discussions in many groups. People are doing very good cases in practice. Private practitioners are doing very good cases, but they are reluctant to publish or send the publications. Means they are hesitant to write the things. So I will request some senior practitioners, those who can tell them that this is the way of writing, and then they can come forward. Because I have seen so many groups and they have so many good cases, but the only hesitation is that they are not in touch of writing the articles. Can we form a group so that they can guide them that please go ahead with this guidelines?
Dr. Sunil, first of all, I'll tell you because the last 15 years as editor, I've seen a lot of practitioners, they're writing whatever the language, because English is not the primary language, because many of the practitioners working in the periphery may not be well versed in writing in English to that extent that should be very appealing. But the first golden rule of writing is write in a simple English language which should be understandable by everyone. You just have to write what you are going to write. You have to submit it. When did you submit to the newsletter or to any journal, you will definitely get some comments. Take those comments in a very, very healthy way. It will sharpen your, the writing skills. It will give you more important feedback regarding your wisdom of writing, your skills of writing, and it will improve you.
Nobody,
telling you, forget about practitioners. I'm talking about academicians as well. We have seen the articles very, very shabbily written by the academicians also. So it is not a question of thing. It's an initiative. They have to write, you have to submit, and nobody going to help like that in such a manner that they have to write from the first word to the last word. You write in whatever manner you feel. I think if you submit to the newsletter, we will definitely publish. Already we have a practitioner corner there. The only thing is you have to take initiative to give us. At least we will tell these things have to be included in this way or these have to be expressed in that way. They should have a scientific appeal, logical appeal, and a clinical appeal. That's the way to go about it. There is no hard and fast schools to write these type of things. It's a very basic language.
Sir, I agree with you. The only thing is, my humble request is that we can form a task force.
I will give you then this. I will assign you this responsibility. You start making a task force for the next 1 year for these all the people. No, please carry on. It will be required because it will help us rather.
Okay, sir.
Can I just make a comment?
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, for the last 1.5 to 2 years, I've been hearing to this many times. So it stimulated my writing skills. And I feel the last IJ has a specific article on ABCs of private practice. My first attempt at writing in any journal. And I realized that it's not an easy job because for the last 3 months, I had to be preparing for it. So I feel it's just a initiation that is required. The initial hesitancy is there. Now that I started writing, I realized that I can do a decent job. And of course, I feel more of such articles from private practitioners are most solicited because many of us are doing such sort of type of cases, which actually we are managing in private, which cases are being managed in institutes. So that's why I feel it's very, very important that practitioners come out more often. And just as Dr. Sunil Sethi rightly said, that practitioners have to come out and start presenting. Dr. Sethi must be managing such critical cases in his ICU and even his anesthesia practices. So I feel it's high time even we come forward and start writing. Initially, hiccups will be there. But of course, we are all there to guide, and having a task force is a good idea. But for Dr. Sethi, I'll definitely help him in whatever best way I can. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pankaj. And
Can I add, sir? Can I add, sir?
You want to add first? You add, please.
No, you can complete it, sir.
No, it's okay. Okay, I will add. I will completely add. You add, please.
Okay. I think IJ has already started one column of private practitioners forum. So this has already been started. As Dr. Pankaj mentioned, there was one letter in the last issue. So IJ is in full support of private practitioners. And I think there were a couple of webinars and discussion on the podcast. So I would request that all the private practitioners, because we have to look for the novelty and certain aspects. If they can just listen the IJ podcast, which each podcast usually gives us 3 to 4 ideas of various research things that can be done, and especially when today guideline release of thyroid is happening, and there are other guidelines which has been published by ISA in the past also. There is one biggest lacuna is the lack of data from India. So this will take care of it. ISA has already taken this initiative. So I would suggest that people come forward and start writing small things. Once they get a knack of writing, it's not difficult at all. Only thing is they just need to spend some time. Once they start spending time, once starts reading, they will be able to understand that what actually is required for publications. And ISA is having now many other options which are available, including podcasts, including blogs, including video graphics. So these will help us to understand that what is actually required in the publication. And rest, ISA is also helping all the authors for grammatical aspects and other inputs which are required, which is required. So I think this initiative is taken, but yes, as Dr. Sunil Sethi mentioned, ISA can think of a task force which can help from various tools specifically in planning, at the planning purpose itself, and definitely for statistical analysis, which is a big issue. So this will be a huge help, but ISA has already taken initiative. So I think that advantage can be taken by the private practitioners, and they can come forward for submitting their manuscripts.
So I will be bothering you, Dr. Rakesh.
No issues,
Thank
sir.
you,
Most
Dr.
welcome,
Rakesh.
sir. Most welcome.
So the idea is, I agree with Dr. Rakesh sir also. Dr. Rakesh sir and our chief editor, he is also getting into this type of things, promoting the practitioner. Yes, we have to promote our practitioners. It's not the practitioner's problem actually. It's not the practitioner's problem. It's you go to any institution. If somebody writes for the first time, it may take some time, 1 year, sometime it may take for a publication of one manuscript, maybe original article, or even the case report sometime takes 6 months to 8 months if their continuous revisions are done. It's not the case only with the practitioners, even the people from an institution now, with the 750 plus institution in India, you can very well imagine 500 of them must be having the anesthesia specialist in the post graduations. So everybody is not contributing. So it is not the practitioner. The only thing is initiative. You take initiative. Definitely task force is almost similar to the reviewer base, which we have in the journals in IJ or even the ISA or wherever we have got a reviewer base. So that is not a big problem. The problem is with the person itself for the initiative taking. Dr. Naveen, you want to add? And a happy birthday to you. And the only the sad part will remain. We will remember your birthday with Dr. Girish demise. That's the only bad thing happening today. Otherwise, we would have celebrated your birthday.
First of all, heartfelt condolences on the sad demise of dear friend Dr. Girish. And he was a good friend and sitting secretary in charge of Telangana state. And we have lost him suddenly. And he leaves behind a 1-year-old daughter. And we all pray that his noble soul rest in peace and God gives strength. At the same time, we have to look forwards towards the years where we can prevent such incidents in our fraternity and especially post-COVID. Secondly, thank you for your good wishes, and all things happen in life together, and so nice of for everybody to wishing me, and I'll also ensure that my target is to lose at least 10 kgs in next 3 months. Coming to vapor, and I agree with the honorary secretary that the newsletter, whether it is by the name the ISCN or the vapor, is the mouthpiece of the secretariat, the headquarters. So heartiest congratulations to Dr. Bajwa for regularly publishing. I've been reading each and every line of that newsletter since its inception, and you have and your team has brought it so nicely, and all the activities of ISA are showcased in that. Congratulations to all the contributors for giving the pictures, the material, and you had it you have added more colors to it by having Yuva Parnika, Crossworld, Quiz, and heartiest congratulations to the entire team of Paper. I'm very, very happy to note on record, today is the Golden Letter Day. 13th October will be remembered for this thing also, that Yuva issue of Paper was inaugurated by ISA. ISA is dedicated to all corners, whether it is Yuva Isacon, Yuva issue of Paper. So this will give a dedicated platform to the Yuva ISANs to present their work. From here only, they will grow up and grow up in the ladder of ISA as well as in anesthesiology. So this is a wonderful idea, nicely executed. God bless you all. This is the best thing which can happen today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Naveen. Anybody else want to suggest or give a feedback for today's program?
Thank you, sir. Good evening. I'm Dr. Veeresham.
Yeah, Dr. Veeresham, you want to say something, please?
Yeah, it's a very good idea, innovative idea. Simulation program is a new thing coming up with ISA. I really appreciate it, and I'll be looking forward for training it. Thank you. Getting trained from it.
Thank you, Dr. Veeresham.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, Dr. Bajwa?
Yes, sir.
First, let me wish Dr. Naveen a very happy birthday.
So it's an official wishing now. The president is official.
Personal wishes. Dr. Naveen, please don't lose too much weight in 3 months. We won't recognize you if you lose too much.
Thank you for your good wishes, President, sir. And
He will not, I am promising.
Okay, I'll go slow. I'll lose three.
I told him 1 year ago, but he hasn't much.
But
No.
I know.
He resolved the ISA platform. Now he has to do it. Now he will do it.
Yes.
Naveen sir, happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you, Dr. Manoj. So nice of you.
Thank you.
Sir, very happy birthday to you, sir. Naveen, sir.
Thank you,
Naveen,
Dr.
sir,
Rita.
happy birthday to you, madam.
Thank you, Dr.
I would
Risham.
say-
Thank you very much.
Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you,
Naveen,
Dr.
sir,
Hina.
happy birthday.
Thank you, Dr. Hina. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Happy birthday, sir. Happy birthday.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Happy birthday to Dr. Naveen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Bhaskar. Thank
सारे
you very
बर्थडे
much.
विश कर रहे हैं, पार्टी भी ले लिया करो कभी.
पार्टी तो मिलेंगे तब लेंगे ना. हैप्पी बर्थडे सर नवीन सर.
Happy
Thank you,
birthday,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, Dr.
birthday,
Rani,
sir.
madam. Thank you, Dr. Lalita, Dr. Lalit Regar, sir.
Sir,
Party
thank
from-
you.
Share your
Naveen,
birthday
sir.
with my husband.
Oh, so congratulations to you also.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
And party is in
Great,
Patna. We'll enjoy party at Patna.
Yes, sir.
yeah. Manoj will be hosting the party for us.
Sure, sir. It's my pleasure.
I will bear the expenses. Manoj will be arranging the logistics.
Thank you, sir. Sure.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So tomorrow it will be another big day. We will be announcing many results of many awards, some academic and some non-academic tomorrow. So that is a very, very important. I request everyone today who has joined, they should be joining tomorrow also, because those are very prestigious awards. Apart from that, we will be unveiling the PPF guidelines, the revised PPF guidelines also. And also today, what happened today about what in the opening statement, Dr. Divetya sir mentioned about the family benevolent fund. So we will be having a family benevolent fund interaction with the people. Dr. Sugu may not be coming online, or if he comes, it's okay, fine. Dr. Parekh and Dr. Asit Vaishnav may be there. So we will have a very heartily interaction with them tomorrow. So tomorrow is a very, very important day, the 14th October. So I request everybody to join tomorrow at 6 p.m. So Dr. Divetya sir, your concluding remark and the closure of the meeting today.
Thank you very much for joining on day 4. Tomorrow we will meet again on day 5 with lots of more events, prizes, awards, guidelines, the PPF guidelines. I think there's a lot of excitement about the private practitioner forum guidelines, which we or the position statement which we'll be releasing. So I'll see you all tomorrow again at 6 p.m. on this online platform. Thank you for joining today. See you tomorrow. Long live ISA. Jai Hind.
Long live ISA.